Coming up in this video, I'm going to be answering the question, why are some spiced rums lighter and why are some spiced rums darker? So if you want to know what the reason is behind that, stay tuned. Hey Spiced Rum fans, I am Steve the Barman and I'm hoping these videos are helping you to drink, enjoy and serve better quality spiced rum. That's what I'm all about. Big massive shout out to all of those who have been popping comments now below. If you've got any questions, if you've got any comments, if you've got any thoughts on my videos, anything you want to know in the future, any spiced rums you want me to feature in the future, drop me a little note in the comments below and let's have a little chat. And also, if you want to chat to other spiced rum fans about their collections, what they're enjoying at the moment, come and join us on Facebook in the Spiced Rum Club. It's not my group, but loads of you, I'm seeing loads of you now jump in there, especially over Christmas. We've had some good chats, admiring other people's collections. So come and join us, either just search Spiced Rum Club in Facebook, or my short link, which will appear on screen now, is stblive.uk/Spiced Rum Club. Come and join the fun. Right then, Spiced Rum fans, let's answer that question. Why are some spiced rums lighter? Why are some spiced rums darker? How do they become dark? So I'm just going to kind of explain and take you right back to bare basics. So spiced rum obviously starts its life as rum. Now, probably not the greatest example to use, the Savannah 3-year-old. This has been aged obviously for 3 years. However, all rum, when it's distilled from sugarcane, sugar molasses, anything like that, sugar beet in the UK, we're distilling a lot from sugar beet now in the UK, is obviously going to be a clear liquid. Alcohol is a clear liquid. Now, to get the colours, especially in proper rums, before we get into the spices and anything like that, it's all done through the aging process. Now, I've got a Havana 3-year-old here just to kind of give you that base clear liquid. This, I don't know whether you'll see it quite clearly on there. I'll try and get out of the way so you can see it on the white background there. Has got a very sort of slight taint to it. It's not crystal clear white. It has been aged for 3 years, but that is it. It comes out and that's kind of your base sort of rum liquid. And then from there, it kind of goes on a little journey. Now I've got some, I think I've got these in sort of colour order here, kind of the spiced rums that I've featured so far on this channel. And you can see they're very, very different in colours, some of these. We go from Kraken, which is kind of jet black, and actually the Brewdog, the 500 cuts, is kind of a murky kind of black. Black Tears is a crystal clear liquid, kind of sort of very, very dark brown. Nothing compared to Kraken at all. And then we've got these two. We've got World's End and Bounty. Now, to get the aging, rums are aged in wooden barrels, oak, charred oak, anything like that. The level of charredness inside will give you a different colour as well. If those barrels have been pre-used in other things, bourbon, other whiskies, anything like that, again, you'll get the sort of colours and the flavour profiles to some extent of the base rums. That will all change. So the darker or the more charred inside the barrel, in a sense, the more it's been used, the darker the rum is going to be. But obviously the rum needs to age for a decent amount of time. There is another part of this as well, because actually with spiced rums, and actually a couple of major brands, take Lambs, take Captain Morgan's and things like that, their colouring actually doesn't come from the aging process at all. The colouring comes from added sort of caramel sugar syrup or burnt sugar or anything like that to give it that dark colour. So when you get to the cheaper sort of rums, spiced rums, the cheaper end of the spectrum, they are obviously not going to be aged that much at all. I have no idea how long Captain Morgan ages their rums for. Very, very minimal. All that colouring, all that flavour comes from colour additives. Now, when it comes to proper sort of authentic rums, I'm going to pick on St. Lucian Distillers here, the Bounty. These two rums, the Chairman's Reserve and the Bounty are solution distillers, same. Their colouring, yes, there's a tiny hint, sort of colouring, tiny amount of colouring coming from the spicener, but their colouring comes from the aging process. So the longer that rum is aged, the darker the colour's going to be, the richer the colour's going to be, but the bolder the kind of flavour is going to be as well. You're kind of going to get the woody notes coming through to the rum, the oaky notes, things like that. So that is all just proper sort of barrel aged rum. Now when we get to something like the Black Tears is coming out to one side, so you can see that is a very dark rum. Again, I have on good authority that there's no colourings gone into that at all, but the spices they use to flavour that are sort of cacao and coffee and things like that. So you've got those colours that are going to slightly infuse their way into the rum. So that's where that kind of comes from. Now we're going for another kind of very sort of dark, you can't even see through this. This is a murky rum. This is Brewdog 500 cuts. Now the colour of that purely and utterly comes through, they've done this in a gin way, so the botanicals. Okay, so lots of cloves, lots of cinnamon, very kind of rich like that. You can see sort of all the botanicals they have used on the front there, but that colour is just come through everything that they've used to get the flavour of the rum. The actual rum is a very clear liquid because they distill it themselves up in Scotland. Now when it comes to things like Kraken, and as I previously mentioned, Captain Morgan's, Lamb's, those kind of rums, the more mass produced rums, yes, it is predominantly, yes, Kraken is the better end of that scale. They do use proper rums in there. However, there still will be some sort of colouring added to that to give it that sort of deeper dark colour. If you kind of hold it up, it's not jet black, it's a lot darker. It's a lot darker than the Black Tears, but that will just purely come through colouring. That's all it is, the colouring added. So I hope that's answered your question. Very simply, how do we get from that? Two processes: aging, if we've got a proper expensive rum, or colour additives being answered. So I hope you enjoyed that. That is my last video of 2019. Coming up in 2020, the very first one, we are getting back to rum reviews. I'll see you soon.